Hello, gentle marketers. Welcome to episode number 40 of the Gentle Business Revolution podcast, the show where we talk about marketing your business by disrupting the current marketing paradigm and changing it to a gentler approach, one that's based on empathy and kindness. I'm Sarah Croce. I'm the host on this show, and you know that you're in the right place if you are a heart-centered entrepreneur or change maker who is looking for a better way to market your business. Or you are an entrepreneur who is simply tired of the traditional or hypey marketing model and are ready for a change or ready for a paradigm shift. You might also be a marketing impact pioneer. That's someone who's working in an organization, for an organization who does business for good. I really hope you're doing okay in these turbulent times, especially if you are based in the US. And if you haven't heard my 2-minute episode, The Show Must Be Paused, please listen to that because I think racism is something that we need to address, whether you are in the US, probably especially if you're in the US, given the history of the country, but everywhere else in the world as well. So if you haven't heard that episode, listen to that one. Today's episode falls under the P of promotion, and we're going to focus in on one specific social media to promote your business. I'm talking about Facebook. Oh my, I have such mixed feelings about this company, and we recorded this episode quite a while ago, and as you'll hear, I really like my guest's view on Facebook ads, and that's why I brought him on. And I've been actually running an ad that is doing really well, or was doing really well, because I just recently stopped it. So this ad is for the one-page gentle marketing plan, and hey, maybe you're even here listening thanks to this ad. So yes, I love getting the message about the paradigm shift out to new people. So for that, I really, again, like the view of my guest today who says, well, why not use this platform to make the world a better place in a way, to create content and get that content out into the world. So it's not all about selling. It's really just about the message and getting the message out there. On the other hand, though, I just really can't stand the way Zuckerberg seems to be all about profit. And of course, I don't know him personally, but it just seems that he has no empathy and no morals. And yeah, if we talk about values, our values are just really not aligned. I don't see him as someone who has a certain worldview or has a worldview that I can agree with. So, yeah, I don't know what you've heard recently, but there's a Wall Street Journal report that kind of said that there was research revealed in 2018 that said our algorithms exploit the human brain's attraction to divisiveness. If left unchecked, Facebook would feed users more and more divisive content in an effort to gain user attention and increase time on the platform. So, yeah, that just doesn't feel good, supporting a company like that. So that's why I'm saying I have mixed feelings. On one hand, I am like, yeah, I get it. I want to get the message out to more people, and that's a great tool to use. And on the other hand, I have these moral this moral alignment that just doesn't seem to fit. So I keep going back and forth. So that's a bit of a prologue to today's episode, just to let you know that I don't know. Again, I like my guest's point of view, and that's why I had him on. So let me tell you a bit more about today's guest. George Kao is a business coach who champions integrity in marketing instead of the predatory tactics that we all have experienced as consumers. George has personally coached hundreds of clients and offers valuable free articles and videos about authentic marketing and joyful productivity at his website, georgekao.com. He's the author of 4 books, including Principles of Authentic Business, Create a Sustainable Livelihood from the Heart. We talk mainly about Facebook ads, but also about authentic marketing. Obviously, that's also why I have George on here today. I could have talked to any Facebook ad specialist, but A, I like him because he talks about authentic marketing, and B, I really like his different approach to Facebook ads. So this is not just your typical way of doing Facebook ads, and I think you'll see why. And we also talk about consistency when it comes to content creation. And since George has self-published a series of books, we also address that topic at the end of our conversation. I think you'll really enjoy and hopefully get a lot out of it. So without further ado, here's George Cow. Hi, George. So good to talk to you.
It's so great to be here, Sarah. We've kind of heard about each other from Paul Zelizer of Awarepreneurs, and I think we're kindred spirits. So it's great to be here.
I know, yeah, and as I was preparing the our chat, I was like, what are the 3 things that I think of when I think of George? And what came to mind are your Facebook Lives, your Facebook ads, and the fact that you're a prolific author. I think you've written 4 books, right?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
Yeah, so we'll talk about those as well. But I want to start with Facebook ads because that's really, first of all, it's the title of today's episode, but it's also really what it made me change my mind about Facebook ads when I read your book, Authentic Business. It was just such a big aha moment for me to realize, oh, there's someone, for me, like a gentle soul who thinks differently about Facebook ads, because as you know, usually we kind of have this weird opinion maybe about Facebook. So tell us about your approach to Facebook ads and maybe also how did you get to this approach? Did you always think about it like that, or did you also have a change of heart maybe?
Thanks. Yeah. So first of all, I think if any of you go and learn about Facebook ads, you're going to learn a couple things. One is that it's all about lead generation and conversion, which is understandable, meaning you use Facebook ads to get people on your email list and then to sell them something. And you can sell them through the email list or you can sell it to them through the Facebook ads itself. And that makes sense. So Facebook ads is, in other words, often thought of it as a funnel marketing system.
Right.
And in fact, Facebook itself sometimes uses the funnel language in their ads platform. And the other thing, of course, people think about when they think of Facebook ads is, the politicians and the Russians or whatever are using it as a propaganda platform to swing elections or to create division and things like that. And while all the above can be true, depending on how you look at it, the other truth that is hidden is that probably millions. Actually, there are 7 million Facebook advertisers. So most of those 7 million are not giant corporations and, politicians, right? Most of the 7 million Facebook advertisers are small businesses like you and me. It's the local, mom and pop store that's trying to get people to find out about their sale, or the local event that's trying to get people to join some community thing. I mean, it's really that's most of the Facebook advertisers. Of course, the giant players have a lot of money to spend, but the way I look at it is, hey, listen, if when your ideal client, okay, let's think about your ideal client. Just about everyone surfs Facebook. I mean, Facebook, we have to first clarify, is the biggest social media platform in the world by far. It's many times and multiple times above the other platforms. Okay, it's like 2.5 billion people on the planet use Facebook at least once a month, and most of those, a billion and a half use it every single day. So it's the largest platform by far. So think about your ideal client. They're surfing Facebook, okay? They're looking at postings from their friends and family, and then they also see ads. Okay, they also see ads come through. And even though some people have ad blocker installed, the Facebook ads platform is so smart that still they're going to see some ads, even with ad blocker installed. You'll still see some ads in the newsfeed. Okay, so the question I have for all of you is, would you rather face your ideal client look at ads from big companies that don't really care about them and that probably don't have something relevant to them? Or would you rather them look at ads from you? Okay. So, I really see Facebook ads, interestingly, as I call it interesting. This, it may be shocking for people to hear this. I see it as a ministry. Okay. I see it as a cause. Here's what I mean. I would rather my ideal client, when they're surfing Facebook, besides seeing postings from friends and family and other things they follow, to see ads that's from me with content that will help them, that will shift their mind in a good direction about their business. If you're somebody who transforms people's lives, a lot of people listening to this are, you want your ideal client to see content that helps them in the way that you know how to help them. Helpful, inspiring content. And that's really how I use Facebook ads first and foremost. About 80% of my Facebook ad spending is just helpful, inspiring content for my ideal client. It's not trying to sell them on anything, and it's certainly not trying to get them on my email list. So it's a very different strategy than how you would learn it from most Facebook experts. I don't look at it from a funnel marketing standpoint. I understand funnels. Of course, there's a journey that customers and clients take with us. Oftentimes, they join our email newsletter before they do more. But on Facebook, my strategy is this. You simply nurture the people that are meant for you. You simply bless them with helpful, inspiring messages. You minister to them, quote unquote, with your content and with your presence, whether that's in writing or that's through videos. And then, of course, by being a loving, supportive presence for them as they're surfing Facebook, they're going to go, oh, who's the Sarah person? Or what's this gentle marketing revolution about? Or, whoever you are, like, oh, who's this person oh, this is interesting, And then, of course, they might then go to your profile, or they might just simply like or comment on the thing, maybe share it. And just by them liking or commenting or sharing on your thing, Facebook ads allows you to easily reach them again through what I call warm ads. But let me just pause here, take a breath, and see if you want to chime in with any questions or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I like what you shared a lot, and in your book here you refer to advertising as an act of service, right? So
Yes.
here you said ministering, but the same thing. It's like you're using a the Facebook platform as to pay for your content to be seen by your ideal clients, and
That's right.
and I think what what we need to understand, and you said this, but we have been brainwashed so much, especially if you're in the marketing area, is that we understand that an ad is some kind of headline, some kind of copy, and then a call to action, right? So
Right.
what you're saying is none of that. Instead,
Yeah.
let me share, for example, what I see you do is a Facebook Live, and you just talk about a certain topic, and then you sponsor that. So that's your ad, right?
Okay, so I'm glad we're kind of getting into some specifics, which is good. The people who don't know me yet, in other words, my cold audience. So we got to just clarify first. There is a cool audience. I'll just call them cool instead of cold. It's cold sounds
Yes,
harsh.
I like that
Cool
better.
audience and a warm audience. Your cool audience is the people who don't really know you yet. Maybe that's the first time they see you, or this, when they see your ad. Your warm audience are the people who have already seen you and engaged with your content in some way, whether they've liked it, commented, or shared it. Okay. So the cool audience, people who don't know you yet, I actually prefer to reach them with text only posts, with just writing. Now this is unusual, because
Right.
usually when you learn Facebook ads elsewhere, they're going to tell you, all right, reach people with a super well produced, interesting 1-minute video or a really interesting image, and that's how you should reach the cool audience, or an opt-in form or something like that. My philosophy on this, and not just philosophy, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads over the last few years. And so from my own data and the data from clients, here's what I've seen. Facebook has tons and tons of users. It is too easy. Let me repeat that. It is far too easy to reach the wrong people on Facebook. In other words, if you try to get attention, you will get a lot of attention using Facebook ads, but it's probably going to be the wrong attention. So you're going to reach a lot of people with your interesting image or with your interesting video, and they're going to like it. They might even comment on it or share it, but they're probably not the right people, because it's too easy to like and comment on very interesting things.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens then is all these people liking who are not the right people, they automatically become part of your warm audience, meaning that's how Facebook does it. People who have engaged with my content in the last 30 days or 90 days or whatever, they're automatically part of your warm audience, which means that your advertising costs to your warm audience grows and grows and grows to the wrong people. So what I prefer instead for all of us is to spend our money wisely, okay? Which is to make sure that our message is being seen by the right people. So of course, we need to work on targeting your ads to the right people. But even if you targeted the right people, again, if you're too interesting, ironically, if you have too much attention, it tends to be the wrong people. So that's why I recommend, when you're advertising to a cool audience, people who don't know you yet, to use text-only posts, which is what you'll see that I do on my page too. I have an even balance between text-only posts and videos. The videos I advertise to my warm audience. The text-only posts I advertise to my cool audience, because, and you might say, well, George, but the text-only posts are more easily blending into the newsfeed. People don't see them as much. Bingo. That's exactly why we want to advertise that to the cool audience, because we want people, it's kind of like it's like when you're thinking about a red sports car, okay, maybe you're thinking about buying a red car or whatever. You go out, you're going to see more red cars than other kinds of cars.
Yeah.
Because it's your brain's reticular activation system is what they call it. Your brain will notice the things that you're thinking about. Okay, let's talk about this, right? Same thing with your ideal client. Your ideal client has a certain problem that they're thinking about, or they have a certain passion or a certain goal that they're thinking about a lot. When they see words that relate to what they're thinking about, it's going to jump out at them. Versus the people who aren't thinking about those things, when they see your words, it's not going to jump out at them. It's going to blend in, and they'll just keep scrolling. And you want that to happen. You want the people who are right for your message. Your words. You don't need any image, any video. Just the words themselves will jump out at them and go, oh, wait, yes, I'm actually thinking about that. That's actually something I'm interested in. And they will click continue reading, or they'll click see more, and they'll read the rest of your content. And now you've gotten the right person. So in other words, text-only posts are really powerful to filter out the wrong people and to filter in the right people. And that way, our Facebook ads to our cool audience is better spent. And then, of course, the people who engage with our text-only posts, the people who bother to read it, and then to comment or like it, because it's much easier to like an image or like a video. It takes a lot more thoughtfulness to like or comment on a text-only post. And so therefore, the ones who then engage with our text-only posts become our warm audience automatically, and then we run ads to the warm audience that are videos. And that's what you talked about. I make videos. And Sarah, you, of course, you've just proven my point. You are already part of my warm audience. You already engage with me. So of course you're going to see my videos more often, because that's what I do. I run videos to you, warm audience members. So you're saying my videos because you're part of my warm audience. So I run videos to my warm audience. And so I first interested you through the text only. We were introduced by somebody else, but let's say you and I didn't know each other. You found me on Facebook. You probably saw my text only post first. You engage with it. Now you're seeing my videos all the time, because now I want you to connect with my voice, my face, my presence on Facebook.
Yeah, I like that. So it's really the resonating that you're working on, right? Do we
Yeah, it's the
resonate
filtering.
first?
It's we filter and then we resonate.
Right.
Because we don't want
Right.
everyone, because we don't want our advertising costs to go up. We
Right.
want to keep it low. So yes.
So how do you not how, but do you actually eventually go, to an opt-in or
Oh
not
yeah.
at
Oh
all?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
glad you asked. So like I said, 80% of the ad dollars that I spend are, either on the text only posts to meet new people, right, with the right message,
Right.
and or to share my videos with my warm audience, to continue that relationship, continue
Right.
building, continue blessing them with messages that are inspiring or helpful, or both, hopefully, and to continue building, trust, and just blessing them. Just, whether they ever buy from me, I want them to get this message that is helpful for them. Okay. And of course, that just naturally builds trust, and it builds like a relationship over time with lots and lots of people. And that's the wonderful thing about social media. You kind of, with content, you're automatically building relationships with lots and lots of people. Okay. So that's the 80% of my ad dollars. 20% then is advertising one of my offers. And I typically do one of my online courses, low price online courses. By low price, I really recommend, something that's easier for people to spend is probably up to $100. If you are really starting out, it's maybe even up to just $50 as a low price offer. And so those who have already been engaging with me, my warm audience, they will see that I have some kind of offer at least once a month to say, hey, here's my upcoming course. So I really like doing something that has an authentic deadline. It's very
Mhm.
helpful. So yes, you can of course, advertise an opt-in to a newsletter, or one of your um, opt-ins to a video series, or it could be an evergreen product. But I really think that the most effective type of offer is an offer with an authentic deadline. So like I said, either a program is starting, or a course is starting, or an event, a webinar that you're going to be teaching, they're going to be showing up live. So that's my recommendation. That's 20%. Now, that's overall 80-20 rule. That's kind of over the course of the year. But during my launch week, right, or the 2 weeks of my launch, of course, most of my spending during those launch weeks are the offer. But over the course of the year, much of it is just content.
Right. So how much time, I'm just trying to see kind of the timeline. So
Sure. Yeah.
you're promoting text, right, to get
Mhm.
new people into, let's not use the word funnel, into your world.
Sure. Yeah.
And then you promote a Facebook Live to this audience, because now they are part of your warm audience.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a Facebook Live video. It can be, for those who prefer to just record it, at their own pace. That's fine too, but it's
Right. Could
essentially
be
video.
a
Yeah.
video that you upload, or
Mhm.
even, I guess it could just be text again,
It could be
at this
text again.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes I do that too. Now that I've gotten more sophisticated with ads, this is a little bit more of an advanced tip. But I actually subdivide my audience into cool, lukewarm, and warm now. And cool is, again, people who don't know me, who've never engaged with my stuff. Warm is the people who have engaged within the last 30 days, and lukewarm is people who have engaged outside of 30 days up to 365 days. So
Right.
basically, they see my content in the last 30 days, but somehow they didn't engage. So now they're lukewarm, and I do text only, my best text only post to them too. But for those of you who are starting out, okay, just think of two buckets: people who don't know you yet, and people who already know you. And that's the simplest way to think about it.
Right. And so how much time would be between, people who don't know you to actually getting that offer ad?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Great
curious
question.
about.
Let's keep it simple, right? Just run just really run 3 types of ads. Okay. For those who are just starting out: text only to cool, video to warm, and then offers when you have them to warm.
Okay.
And for the offer to the warm, um, this is a little bit advanced now, but you can either run a reach campaign, meaning I want to reach everybody in my warm audience with this offer, or you can run a conversion campaign, meaning, all right, Facebook, just send it to people who are most likely to convert, opt in or to buy. And that's one of the wonderful things, and scary things you might say about Facebook, is that Facebook has so much data on every single user. So let's talk about this a little bit. I want to be sure we talk about this by the end, because that's one of the objections. And I understand one of the objections that people have about Facebook is they're gathering all this data about every user, and it's violating privacy, and people can control us through ads or influence our mindset through ads. And all of that's true. But like I said, again, most of the advertisers of the 7 million, most of them are small businesses. Many of them are solopreneurs like us. And actually, once you start running Facebook ads, you realize, oh my gosh, all that data they have on those users is like such a boon. It's a treasure. It's such a blessing for us small businesses, because Facebook allows us to easily now reach, I haven't even talked about this, but there's lookalike audiences that I usually recommend to clients when they are creating cool audiences. Well, let's use lookalike audiences, meaning use Facebook's own algorithm to find exactly the people who are most like your clients, or most like your subscribers, or most like your Facebook or website visitors. Right. That can be easily done. And Facebook has thousands of data points on each user. Thousands, meaning that Facebook knows exactly which posts you tend to click on, and which posts, meaning what kind of topics you tend to click on and read, what kinds of videos you tend to watch, what kinds of keywords you tend to spend time engaging with. They know all that. And so that every single thing you do on Facebook is like another data point. So, okay, Sarah tends to engage more with kittens or with puppies, or Sarah tends to like more vacation photos in these regions, or Sarah tends to like brands that really have these values or those values, or these interests or that interest. Facebook is keeping track of all that, which then allows us advertisers, small business owners, to easily then reach people like Sarah, people like George, people like, Jenny, people like Mike. Allows us to so easily do these things that it makes it easier for us to grow our business. So really, Facebook
comes to mind, George, if you don't mind jumping in here. What comes to mind is this story, this parable of the two wolves.
Oh my gosh.
The good one and the bad one. Because obviously this is very empowering, right? It gives us a lot of power to have access to all this data.
Yes.
And I think the issue and why there's so much criticism about these Facebook ads is because a lot of people, even I would say, even small business owners, and not always voluntarily, but abuse that power. And then, you see ads that use the hype marketing approach, and they make people feel bad and not included. And, so I think that's why it's so important to say, well, I have this power. How can I use it to do business for good, or use that tool for good? And that's that reframe that you really helped me with, and saying, okay, I have this power, I have all this data, how can I use it to actually help people? I think that switch that needs to be turned on, and you said it several times, that there needs to be a no attachment to the results. That what you're trying to do is just getting the message out there.
That's right.
But there can be an attachment to an immediate result, because then you're back into the funnels and the selling, and so I think that is the biggest mindset shift, that if you use that power, use it for good and use it in a way that it makes you non-attached, whether that person buys from you or not. All you're trying to do is getting the message out there.
Right, exactly right. I mean, it's like of all the advertising tools, right? Facebook is like the sharpest knife. Because it's the most precise, it's the most effective, and a sharp knife can be used to harm people, or it could be used for everyday uses like cooking and things that we need, cutting things up that we need to cut, things that we need, right? And so think of Facebook as the most effective tool, most powerful tool. Mark Zuckerberg, you could either see him as a devil or an angel, right? Because he has allowed all of us advertisers to reach exactly the people we need to reach, we want to reach, to, like you said, bless them with our content. Right. If we look at the Facebook ads primarily as this is a ministry, remember, all the money you spend on Facebook ads is tax deductible. Kind of like when you're giving to a charity is tax deductible. It's tax deductible. It's part of your business expenses. You can write it off. And essentially, like I said, I'm spending 80% of it blessing people with content without attachment to, oh, you must now buy from me after you've now. No. It's just, I think of it as an invitation, like among friends, like, hey, now that you know me a little bit, I'm doing this thing. You want to join me? Because I think you might like it. If not, no worries. But I thought you might want to know about this.
Yeah, and I think that's a great cue to tell people about the fact that you actually have this great Facebook course. So that would be the invitation to really. Yeah. I think if I would send people to anybody, it would be definitely to George, because not only, as you can tell, he's an expert now at Facebook ads, but he does it in this really good way where it's not like I've never seen anyone do what you do, and I think it really is this shift, this mindset shift that you help people turn on and look at Facebook ads in a different way. So
yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Course.
Yeah, so those of you who want to kind of get hand holding on doing these things step by step with all the nuances of how to find the right audiences, and one thing we didn't talk about is on Facebook there's a way to target with various interest targeting higher income audiences. So that's actually very important because you want to reach the people who have the disposable income to then buy your services, offerings, programs, etc. So that's part of the course, is reaching higher income audiences and how to do it in a thoughtful way, the exact step-by-step, day-by-day kind of system, instructions to do it. I have videos to walk you through all this. I also have a private Facebook group where you can go in and ask all your questions, get answers from myself, but also get opinions and examples from your fellow students in the Facebook course.
Great. Yeah, we'll make sure to link to that in the show notes. And I know we're almost out of time, but I still want to talk about your books because really the one I read just recently, Authentic Business, that was really also, I refer to it in the Gentle Marketing Program as part of the resources, because I thought it was just such a great approach to doing business differently, doing business authentically. You also have another book that's called Authentic Content Marketing. I think that's a big focus for you too, right? So creating content has always been part of how you built your business and in that non-salesy approach, right?
Yeah, I think of content, just a few words on this. I think of content as exploring our passion on the one hand, and then serving the world on the other hand. And of course, there's a third benefit that I consider it to be a natural, organic benefit that I don't attach myself to. Of course, content will bring us our kindred spirits, our true fans, our potential clients. But let's move forward thinking about content as, okay, this is a way for me to explore and create, like explore my passions, like practice my authentic voice, and also to serve people just because that's part of our legacy. It's like like none of us know how much longer each person that, we have to live. And content is one of the ways we serve the world, very simply, very easily.
Yeah, great. And then finally, the other two are authentic selling and joyful productivity. So we'll link to all of your 4 books in the show notes. I'm just curious how, I'm in the middle of writing the Gentle Marketing book.
Yay,
I'm just
yeah,
curious how you find the time to write 4 books.
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, my books, as when anybody who looks at them will see, they're actually a compilation of my blog posts. It's just that
I didn't notice that. If you hadn't
well,
told
okay,
me.
all right. Well, now you know. Now the secret has been out. Basically, I blog regularly, and every now and then I'll go back and organize my blog posts by theme, and that becomes a book. So, just for all of you, that's a very simple way to write a book, and even
there
your
you go,
readers don't even have to know.
A very productive way.
Yeah,
That's great. Yeah. And you self-published all of them, right?
Yeah, it's very easy these days to self-publish to Amazon via Kindle books, audio books. You can self-publish all kinds of stuff in paperback. Amazon makes it super easy to just with a few clicks you have a paperback book that's made to order. Whenever someone orders it, they print it and send it to them. So
yeah, that's great. I think that's another act of service in a way, and another way to get people to know who you are, what you care about, what your worldview is, and all of that, and kind of an invitation to your world and how you do business.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. This has been amazing. Thank you so much, George. I want to ask you one last question. What are you grateful for today or this week?
Well, I am grateful for our connection. I'm grateful that Paul Zelizer, I've given him a shout out. He's such a amazing human being. He is such a connector. His website is awarepreneurs, awareness, like awareness, but with preneurs, like entrepreneurs, awarepreneurs.com or awarepreneur.com. I forgot which one it is. Try both. And he connected Sarah and I, and I'm just grateful for people like Paul who just selflessly connect people who are kindred spirits. And now you and I get to work together and have fun together.
That's amazing. Thank you. And yeah, you mentioned awarepreneurs, but also please mention where people can find you besides Facebook, of course.
Yeah. Well, gratefully, you could just Google my name, George Kao, Kao is the last name, Kao, George Kao. Just Google it and you'll find my website and my social media channels.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having this conversation about Facebook ads with me. I hope it switched some other mind shifts about Facebook and how to use ads in a good way. So thank you so much for being on the show, George.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks so much for listening. Please check out the show notes for this episode at sarahsanacroce.com/GBR40. And also visit George's website at georgekao.com. That's georgekao.com. And please also go find him on Facebook. As I said, as we discussed, he's very consistent there with Facebook Lives and all kinds of other content. One more thing, if you're new to this show, I wanted to extend a big welcome. I'm so happy you're here. I structure this podcast and the conversations around the 7 P's of the Gentle Marketing Mandala. And today's episode, for example, fit under the P of promotion. And the other P's are passion, personal power, people, pricing, product, and partnership. So seeing my 1-page Gentle Marketing Plan with the 7 email prompts might help you understand better what we're talking about here. You can get your 1-page plan at sarahsanacroce.com/1 page. Next week, I'm talking to Julie Fouch, who's going to address the P of partnership, a special kind of partnership. You will just have to come back to find out what we're talking about. I hope you'll join me on this journey to a kinder marketing paradigm. Please invite your friends if you think they enjoy our worldview as well. And you can do that by sending them to thegentlebusinessrevolution.com, where they find the podcast, as well as the Manifesto, no opt-in, just a beautiful PDF to read and see if it resonates. Let's be the change we want to see in the world. Speak soon.